Welcome to another new episode of the Declutter Me podcast with myself, Shelina. Thank you for listening wherever you are in the world. I am always grateful for you listening to me and watching me if you're watching on YouTube. Before I begin, I need to ask you a favor. I need to help with the engagement for the podcast. So would you do me a favor and leave a like, leave a 5-star review, just put 5 stars on whatever player that you're listening to of the Declutter Me podcast. If you can leave a review, that would be even more amazing. And share it with your friends and family as well, because that will help to lift me up on the podcast sphere, wherever it is, whatever the word is. So if you could do that, that would be amazing. Thank you. And thank you again for that. So recently I've been organizing more and more playrooms. I'm guessing with the kids finishing school and it being summertime, the parents wanted to get the playroom sorted out, and make sure that they were ready for them to use and keep them occupied during the long summer days. So I've been working on them. I'm not going to lie, organizing toys, especially when there is a lot and they're tiny, can be very annoying, especially Shopkins and LOLs. They're really expensive and they're really annoying. So yeah, but I do it. I smile. I get on with it. I once spent a day dealing with playroom toys that the family had moved into a house. All the toys had been thrown into boxes. There were about 10 boxes of toys, random toys. I had to just sit there and just put them into different boxes and, organize them. It was a pain, but it looked amazing at the end. I was so pleased with the results, but yeah, painful. Toys are painful. So I can understand why parents don't want to deal with it and will get somebody else to do it. So yeah. And I mean, it is great when I get to work with kids because I become Auntie Shelina, and the kids learn how to declutter and organize with me, and learning at an early age is never a bad thing. And learning how to, donate to children who don't have toys and are not as fortunate as them is always a good thing as well, and a good message to give to the kids. Plus they love using my label machine, which means they're occupied for a while. So yeah, I provide babysitting duties with me as well as organizing. So yeah, if you ever need that, let me know. So let's break it down into simple to-do strategies to get you organized properly in your playroom. First of all, let's declutter. So declutter any old, broken, or plain useless toys. That includes the slime and Play-Doh that has dried up. So get rid of them, put them in the trash or in recycling, but get rid of them first. Also get rid of, the toys, your free toys that you get in Kinder Eggs, in McDonald's, at the Magic Planet as well. Get rid of them as well. They're just useless and cheap and plain rubbish. So put that in recycling. Next, ask the kids to declutter the toys that they do not like playing with anymore or they have outgrown. So if the kids are about 7 or 8 years old and they've still got toddler toys in the boxes, from Early Learning Center, that needs to go. That needs to be donated. So put them in a big bag for donation, which can then go to the children's charities, or if they're expensive, you can try and sell them. As you know, I'm not the biggest fan of selling items. It's a palaver. People are a pain when, negotiating. They want the final price and they want to pay 5 dirhams for something that's 300 dirhams. I've had to deal with something recently and it drove me insane. So if you don't have to sell and don't have to make money, give it for donation. I mean, it's great if you can sell. And with children's toys, it is easier to sell and you will get money. It's just a palaver of dealing with people who take the piss. So think about that. If there are too many toys, split the toys. So keep half of the toys in the playroom that they're going to play and enjoy. And once they get bored of it, you can put the toys that are in a box in the storeroom and sort of swap them around. So that's one way to reduce the amount of toys in the playroom. It's a really cool trick that I got from other organizers that have suggested this. But the key thing I think is, having this many toys and splitting them, that means that they have too many toys. So think more about decluttering and donating rather than having this option. But if there is way too many toys, you can use this option of splitting the toys. Once you know what is left, we need to categorize the toys using boxes and bins that you currently have, or use old cardboard boxes. So you categorize them into, the children's, the dolls accessories, the Lego, cars, trains, superheroes, Shopkins, LOLs, and anything else and everything else. So categorize everything. And doing this, you then know how many boxes you need or how much storage you need moving forward. So there's many preferences for storing toys. Some like clear boxes, some prefer, white boxes or colored boxes. With clear see-through boxes, the children can see straight away what's in them, but it can look messy. Using white boxes, which I do often, and I label them, it means it's not as messy. It's still easy to get to the items, to get to the toys, and the kids will learn how to organize it because they can see on the labels what is there. So I always prefer having the white boxes, but see what works for you and for your family. Also consider if your children have ADHD or ADD about reducing the sensory overload when they are playing in the playroom. So if you can choose white or light wood boxes, that works better. Also, I've seen in Zara, they have in the children's section, they have these bins, like light wood bins, and you can just throw things in there. And that is great for kids who have, are not great at folding and not great at putting things away. So it's an easy way to just throw things in, especially with the trucks and the train tracks and the trains and things like that. It's just an easy way of organizing, and it means that you have less boxes with lids lying around. So find the storage solution that works for you, label them in a simple font so it's easy to find the items in less than 5 seconds. If you don't like seeing the toys and the boxes, have closed boxes or cupboards with doors so that they can be hidden away at the end of the day. So what I did for a client recently in her bedroom, she had lots of beautiful Pottery Barn furniture, but they weren't helpful. They weren't useful. She needed more space, hanging space for her clothes. So what we did was get a wardrobe, and we made a corner unit wardrobe, made some space for the hanging clothes, and then the rest was for the books and for her toys. So now she can just open that, access that, and put everything away in the same place after that because it's all labeled. And then as she gets older, she can use the space that was for the toys for her clothes, or change the shelves into hanging rods so she can hang more clothes. So, yeah, and also because it was IKEA, you can add more wardrobe as well. So that's a great way, and it makes it more versatile for the kid growing up. But if we're talking about playrooms, you don't want to have a wardrobe in there. So think about the furniture that will work for you and work for your kids. So if you want it to be hidden, make sure that there's doors, make sure it's cupboards, drawers, but make it easy for them to access so that they can get everything when they want to play with it. The key is to be able to find the toys and items in less than 5 seconds moving forward. Next, let's talk about Lego. So it's a huge other task to deal with. For young kids, put them in a large container to enable them to experiment and enjoy Lego. I love Lego. I have seen some beautiful pieces made by clients from kids to grown adults. I've also been on Lego courses, to help you with training and coaching. It's fascinating using Lego. I love it. And the amount of things you can do with Lego as well. And I do love watching the Lego movies as well. So I am a big fan of organizing Lego, but see how you want to organize your Lego, or your kids want to organize Lego. So you can organize it by color, by size, or by part. If it's by color and size and part, then you can use smaller boxes and put them into there, or you can get bins with colored sections and put them into those colored sections. So see what works for you and for your child. As they get older, they go more for the parts rather than just random selections. There's specific parts. So check on that. And also if it is a specific thing like a Star Wars or those Technic ones, put them in a Ziploc bag and then put them back in the box with the instructions, because they will want to do it in that proper way. It's not an experimentation. It's very specific, especially those Star Wars ones. Next, let's talk about the library. So create a playroom library or a nook for the children to get to the books. If they have a lot of books, getting those pretty stands where you can just put one book and it's on the wall, it will take up valuable space and it's not helpful at all. It looks pretty on Instagram, but it's just not functional. So get a Billy bookcase from IKEA or a bookcase from, like from Pottibran or one of these places. But make sure it will fit all the books that you have for all your children. And then you have to have, on the lower shelves for your younger kids. As they get taller and older, then you can put it up higher. But Billy bookcase is versatile, can be used for loads of things. You can put doors onto it if you want to later on. Just make it, easily accessible. If you want to do rainbow coloring, which I talked about in the last episode, go for it. That's great. But organize it in a way that works for your kids. So, you could have it fiction, learning, educational, dinosaurs, planets, Peppa Pig. There's a lot of Peppa Pig books out there. And toddler books, nighttime books. There's different categories. So see what works for you and for your kids and what they want to access. So if it's a nighttime kid, books, that could be on a higher shelf because you'll access that to give it to them, or to read to them at night. So think about what works for you and for your kids and will make it easier for them to read more and more books. For messy items like Play-Doh, arts and craft, and that slime, keep that out of reach as they create a messy disaster very often. Include aprons and cleaning wipes in the messy toy section and put that on a higher shelf. So only you or your nanny or your maid can access it. Or if the kids are older, they can access it if they're responsible. I've seen it. It makes a huge, huge mess. So try and do it so that it's not accessible that easy. Now, I talked a bit about Playroom storage solutions before and talked about boxes. And I've mentioned some of the brands. IKEA is the benchmark. It has brilliant things. Trofast from IKEA is very good and very versatile and in different colors. They also have a light wood color now as well. So they have a great variety of solutions for you, for the kids. So have a look in IKEA first. Also look in Pottery Barn. And as I said, Sarah Home have now got a few items as well that are working really well. They are more expensive, but they are beautiful pieces. And you can sell them as well, because they are so beautiful. But remember, you've done the decluttering, you've done the categorization, you've done the viewing what you have. So choose solutions that work for you and for your children and for your budget. If you don't have the space or the budget for furniture, use boxes. So use the Sumler boxes or the Ratonel boxes from IKEA or from other stores or from Amazon, that you can then put the toys inside them. You don't have to make it, complicated. You don't have to make it expensive. You can make it as economical as you can afford. So think about that when you're organizing the toys. Another thing to do is to use Playroom mats to ensure your floors are protected from messy toys, Barbie heels, or car tires. So you can get these mats from Amazon. In the UAE, in Dubai, you can get it from Dragon Mart, very cheap as well. So have a look, and people are always selling them as well. So have a look and see if somebody's selling it, and then you can buy it. But they are really good. And also it means that it's less painful when you step on Lego because the Lego is in the mat. So it's Lego. It's painful for your feet. When buying the toys or getting them as presents moving forward, remember the Declutter Me rule. Buy one, get rid of two. So if you follow this rule, you'll free up lots of space for the toys that they really, really love. So you say to them as well, it's say, if you're going to buy a toy from Hamleys or from Toys R Us, if Toys R Us still exists, say to them, if you get rid of one, Auntie Shelina says if you buy one, you have to get rid of two. And what you can do as well is get a basket or a box or a bag and have that in a corner. And every time they don't like a toy, they can fill it up. They can put that in that box or in that bag. And when it's full, you can give it away for donation. And that solves the buy one, get rid of two rule because they're already doing it. And it's a good way for them to learn the value of their toys and also about decluttering and giving away to people in need. Finally, let's do a Mary Poppins at the end of the day. And remember, in Mary Poppins, she said, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. So get the kids involved with cleaning away their toys before they go to bed. So a few good routines that I've seen and heard about are ones like this. So the one is ready, set, clean. So what you do is you get your stopwatch out of your phone, you give them a minute or see who's the fastest to clean up. And then you write down the daily times on a whiteboard or on a colorful piece of paper. And then the fastest in a week would get a treat. Another one is count the number of toys that they pick up whilst they're doing it. So they have a minute to pick up as many toys as possible. And the one with the highest number at the end of the week can get a treat. I'm all about the treats. I'm Aunt Shelina. We like the treats. Another one is you're on the play mats and there's different colors. So if you step on like a red mat, then they have to pick up all the red toys. Then you step on blue, then they pick up all the blue toys. So if they do that and collect all the colors and then put them away as well, that's another good way of clearing up all the mess that's in the house, in the playroom, I mean. So these are my tips and tricks for organizing your playroom. Except that the playroom is not going to be Instagram pristine all the time. Embrace the chaos. We're doing something to make sure that it's decluttered and organized and that there is less chaos in the playroom, but it's never going to be perfect. But hopefully this helps you to get a playroom all sorted for this summer and moving forward. If you have any tips or tricks, leave it in the comment box. Thanks for listening as always. And if you enjoyed these episodes, please share it with your family and friends. Thanks again and take care, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye.